Hello and welcome to this tutorial about the IUCN Greenlist Interactive Map Platform, also known as GLIMP. The goal of this tutorial is to introduce you briefly to the different functionalities of this interactive web mapping platform. The platform was built as a collaboration between GRID-Arendal and IUCN and is part of the Protected Area Solutions project. If you open the platform, which is accessible in any web browser at dev.grida.no/mapstory/leaflets/pa_solutions, you'll first be prompted with this pop-up window, which gives you a bit of background information and introduces you to the different functionalities of the website. Simply close the pop-up window and you'll have access to the full interface. The interface is free and anyone can use it. As you see, there is a main title page here on the top of the interface, which shows us a site that we're currently viewing. And now the interface is zoomed on the Van Long Wetland Nature Reserve, a protected area just south of Hanoi. We have the About tool page, which we just had open here with information about the website. And we also have this Project Sites toolbar, which allows us to change projects. So here I can go under Vietnam and go from Van Long to Công Dao. If I click to Công Dao, the website will refresh itself and bring me to the Công Dao National Park and show me the different data that we have for that protected area. In the future, our goal is to populate this site with many more protected areas in Vietnam, but also internationally. Besides this layer here on the top, we also have a toolbar on the left-hand side, and this is our toolbar to edit the map, and we'll go more into the functionalities of this toolbar later. On the right-hand side, we have our layers panel. This layers panel is where users can turn layers on and off. Layers are grouped in different types of categories. There are 5 categories. We have base maps, which are all the different maps that are in the background of the interface. And these are mostly satellite imagery. So we have satellite imagery for Van Long, for example, from 1999. And even though the resolution is not very good, it gives you a glimpse of what the landscape looked like back then. We have imagery from 2015, from a slightly better satellite, the different resolution, and very recently from 2018. These different base maps allow us to understand how the landscape changed over time. We here also have OpenStreetMap, which is a bit similar to Google Maps, only it tends to have more information in Vietnam than Google Maps, hence we chose to use it here. If I revert back to satellite imagery and go down into my different groupings, you'll see that I have a boundary group, which shows different types of boundaries, and this includes the Van Long Nature Reserve boundary, which we currently see on the map. We have infrastructure, which is different types of infrastructure built by humans. We have environment and natural features, which are natural features such as rivers and streams. And finally, we have participatory maps and data. And this is data that we collected during field work in this area a couple of years back. And I'll show a bit of that data later in this video tutorial. Now, if I go back to my boundaries grouping, you'll see that the Van Long Nature Reserve has a tick box which is ticked on at the moment. And this is because we can see the layer in the interface. If I tick this tick box again, it will turn the layer on. So it's possible to turn layers on and off simply by clicking on this tick box. Just under the title of the layer, you'll see this kind of bar, and this allows you to change the transparency of your layer. By dragging this here on the right hand side, I'm making my layer more transparent. And this is useful when I'm looking at multiple layers at the same time that are overlapping on the web mapping interface. I can drag it back to the left to make it more visible again. Now, if one has turned on many layers, they can simply use the clear all layers if they want to delete all the layers and start with a fresh blank page. I'll turn the base maps on again and have a look at some of the participatory maps data that we collected when we were in Van Long. We have here the location of villages inside the Van Long Nature Reserve. I'll just turn on the Van Long Nature Reserve again so that we can clearly see it on the map. We have the location of guard tracks, and these are tracks of guards that patrol the area. And these were drawn on us on a print map, and we have digitized them to include them in this interactive mapping platform. We have a plan for a tourist road in the northern area here, which would cut the limestone karst mountain, which is home to a monkey, from this area significantly. We also have a cement concession area, and here you can see on the satellite imagery in white, these are mining sites, and this is an area that was identified to us that will be used for mining in the future. We also have a resort and a golf project. This is more in Kembang on the west side, and also some cultural sites, for example, this temple, which is located in the Van Long Nature Reserve. There are many temples and other similar cultural features in the Van Long Nature Reserve, and this is just one of them. As you can see, by turning these layers on, we quickly gain a good understanding of some of the features in the landscape that are currently existing or are planned, such as this tourist road and the cement concession. This interactive map interface becomes very useful when these types of layers are overlaid with other layers. For example, there is this boundary here, which is the proposed extension of the Van Long Nature Reserve into Kembang, which is another district in a different province. What we quickly see by overlaying these layers is that there is a spatial conflict between the proposed boundary extension in Kembang and the planned tourist road, as well as the cement concession. This type of insight allows us to better manage and to plan for changes in the future, and to have a better understanding of the different types of issues that may arise due to conflicting uses of the landscape. I'll turn off all my layers here again, clicking clear all layers, and turn the base map on again. Looking now at the panel on the left hand side, I see that I have a lot of different tools here. Now I'll first start with the main one, which has the most icon, and this allows you to draw information on the map. For example, if we turn on the boundary of our Van Long Nature Reserve here, and we see on the image, this is an image from 2015, that there's a mining site here in this area that is very close to the boundary of the Van Long Nature Reserve. I can use the Draw Polygon tool here and just simply click on it. And by simply clicking and dragging the mouse, it's possible for me as a user to draw a polygon around the area that is being mined in 2015 according to the satellite image. I'll simply finish my drawing by clicking around the site and double click when I finish drawing this location. Now this is a useful tool to add information to the map. The information is not necessarily coming from the satellite imagery, but a local stakeholder might have information that he wishes to add to the map, and he can use this drawing toolbar here to add that information to the map. Once a feature of the landscape has been digitized, like this mining site, that data can be downloaded to the machine of the user of the interface by clicking on the download button here at the bottom of the edit toolbars. So I'll just download this feature that I just created, and I'll download a file called mydraw.geojson. This is useful for GIS experts and other managers or stakeholders that are familiar with GIS interfaces. For example here, if I bring in the QGIS interface, which allows us to analyze and create maps based from geospatial information, I can simply take my drawing here and slide it into the QGIS interface, and now it will appear on my map here. In QGIS, I can do different calculations, such as the area, for example, of this mining site, and compare it to the digitization of mining sites from different satellite imageries. And this analysis, for example, could give me insight about how this area of this site has changed over the last 10 or 20 years. I'll quickly close QGIS and go back to the interactive map that we've been working on. Now, if you're not happy with a feature or if you like to edit it, you can simply delete it and by clicking clear all, and you can also edit the feature to change some of the vector points. So we've looked at how to draw a polygon, but it is also possible to draw different types of features. For example, here we see we have a road, and I can draw a line which follows the road and add that to the map. Double click to finish a drawing. Similarly, it is possible to draw a rectangle by simply clicking and dragging, if we want to show, for example, this area here, or to draw a circle by clicking and dragging to increase or decrease the radius of the circle. If I zoom in here on this area, we see we have a few houses, and it's also possible to add points or markers to the map. Simply click on the marker icon, and you can, for example, start marking the different houses. For example, you may mark houses that are used for certain types of farming or any other reason. Similarly to the polygon which we downloaded earlier, it is possible to download these features using the download current sketch button here at the bottom of the interface. Again, if you want to delete these different drawings that you have made on the web mapping interface, simply click the delete button here. It is important to know that all the features that you draw on the interface will remain simply in your web browsers. Other users cannot see or edit or access any of the data that you add directly to the interface. Therefore, this also means that when you add a feature to the interface, for example, this circle here, if you reload the page, the circle will disappear. So if you wish to save the edits, it is always important that you download the edits that you've made using the download button here at the bottom and save a copy of your file. The last feature that I would like to show in this tutorial is the ability of the interface to read data that is owned by the user itself. For example, if I was working in this area and I already had data that I would like to compare to some of the layers available in this interface, I could simply use the upload button to upload my own data. When you upload your own data, make sure that the file is in a zip folder and that the projection is in WGS84 only. Then the computer can actually read the data and properly place it on the map. So I'll show you an example here by clicking on the upload button and then navigate to the folder I want to show on the map. We see here it's zipped, and I open it. And very quickly the computer will read these files and place them on the map at their correct location. In this particular case, we're looking at points that are collected that show where the monkey has been sighted in the Kembang area. And this is interesting now. For example, if I compare it to the tourist road, which we talked about earlier, that is here, and we see that the tourist road actually passes through the habitat that is used by the monkeys in the Kembang area. This point is likely to be an incorrect point, and so this could also give me some information about that to be able to see if my data is accurate and whether some of it has problems. So that is the end of this tutorial. You're now familiar with the interface as a whole, the layers panel here on the right hand side, the toolbar, editing, uploading and downloading bar on the left hand side, and the interface as a whole. So this video tutorial is really here to support you in using this interface, but we'll also have communication or hope. So as if we go to project site and we go to Kongdao now, you'll see that we have very little data now. These are just some test data that we have set for Kongdao, but we want together with you to try to build more layers for this area. And this will be done both on our side here in Europe, but we also hope that you can contribute by sending us your data and creating new data using the edit interface here on the left-hand side. So we look forward to working together with you and make a very good interactive map for Kongdao in the GLIMP interface. Thank you very much.